In 1923, 9 of the world's wealthiest men met at the Edgewater Beach Hotel in Chicago. They controlled more money than the entire US Treasury. 25 years later, every single one of them was dead, bankrupt, or in prison. But one man did not attend that meeting. He was richer than all of them combined. He lived to 87, quietly, in a small house he'd owned for 40 years. His name was John D. Rockefeller. He knew something they didn't. He knew the 7 rules, the rules that separate the people who get rich from the people who stay rich. Schools don't teach them, universities don't mention them, because these rules were never meant for you. But today, you're going to learn all 7. The first rule is the one that broke my mind when I finally understood it. It's called the law of invisible leverage. And here's how it works. Middle-class thinking says, work hard, save money, invest slowly, retire at 65. Sounds reasonable, doesn't it? It's also the greatest financial lie ever told. Billionaires don't save money. They don't even really earn money. Not in the way you think. They borrow it. They borrow against assets they already own at interest rates lower than inflation itself. This is called asset-backed leverage, and it is the single most powerful wealth-building tool ever invented. Let me show you how it works. When Elon Musk needs cash, he doesn't sell Tesla stock, because selling triggers a massive tax bill. Instead, he pledges his shares as collateral to a private bank and borrows against them at around 2% interest. He gets the cash, he pays no tax, and his stock keeps appreciating while he's using the money. Meanwhile, the average American earns a salary, pays 30 to 40% in taxes before they even see the money, and then tries to invest what's left. It's a rigged race. One person is climbing a mountain carrying a backpack full of rocks. The other is taking a helicopter. The lesson here isn't to go borrow money recklessly. The lesson is this: your goal should never be to accumulate cash. Your goal should be to accumulate assets that produce income and can be used as collateral. That's how you turn $1 into 10 without ever selling anything. The rich don't work for money, they architect money. And leverage is the blueprint. The second rule will sound almost offensive in the age of social media. It's called the rule of silent scale. Here it is, blunt and uncomfortable. The truly wealthy do not announce themselves. They do not post their cars. They do not flaunt their watches. They don't tell you what they drive, where they live, or how much they made last quarter, because they understand something most people don't. Visibility is a tax. Every dollar of visible wealth invites 3 enemies: lawsuits, jealousy, and unwanted attention from tax authorities. When you drive a Lamborghini down Rodeo Drive, you're not displaying success. You're painting a target on your back. This is why old money families live in unmarked mansions behind hedges. And this is why hedge fund managers drive Toyota Camrys to work. This is why the richest man in your city is probably someone you've never heard of. There's a famous study from a book called The Millionaire Next Door. The researchers found that most actual millionaires in America live in middle-class neighborhoods, drive used cars, and wear off-the-rack clothing. The people in the mansions with the Ferraris, most of them are broke. They're leveraged to the eyeballs, one bad month away from foreclosure, performing wealth instead of possessing it. Silent scale means this: build your empire in the shadows. Let your bank account scream while your lifestyle whispers. Every dollar you don't spend on status is a dollar working for you, compounding quietly, unnoticed. And there is no force on earth more powerful than money that nobody is watching. The loudest person in the room is almost never the richest. Remember that. The third rule is how billionaires make decisions about risk. And it's the exact opposite of what you've been taught. You've been told, diversify, play it safe, spread your money across many things. That advice is good for protecting existing wealth. It is terrible for building new wealth. Billionaires follow a principle called asymmetric bets. The idea is simple. You look for opportunities where the downside is small and limited, but the upside is massive and uncapped. You can lose $1, you can make 1,000. Those are the only bets worth taking. Jeff Bezos did this with Amazon. He started an online bookstore when everyone said it would fail. The downside, a few years of his savings. The upside, $2 trillion empire. Peter Thiel did this with Facebook. He invested $500,000. He walked away with over $1 billion. The downside was capped. The upside was infinite. The middle class takes the exact opposite bets. They take a safe job where the upside is capped at a tiny annual raise, but the downside is catastrophic. A layoff at age 50 with no skills, no network, and no assets. They buy houses they can barely afford, where the downside is foreclosure, and the upside is 2% appreciation per year. These are negative asymmetry bets, and they are wealth killers. To apply this rule in your own life, ask one question before every financial decision. What is the worst that can happen, and what is the best? If the worst is manageable and the best is life-changing, well, that's a billionaire bet. If the worst is devastating and the best is mediocre, run the other way. One good asymmetric bet per decade is all it takes to become wealthy. Most people never take even one. The fourth rule is the most underrated and the one that took me the longest to truly understand. It's called network compounding. Your income is the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This isn't a motivational cliche, it's a statistical reality, and the reason is simple. Opportunities flow through relationships, not resumes. Here's what nobody tells you. The best deals in the world never hit the open market. The best jobs aren't posted online. The best investments aren't offered to retail buyers. All of it, every real opportunity, moves through private networks, handshakes, whispered introductions in members-only rooms. When someone asks a billionaire for advice and that billionaire gives them 15 minutes over coffee, what's really being transferred? It's not the advice. The advice is usually obvious. What's being transferred is access to the billionaire's network. One introduction from the right person can collapse 10 years of struggle into a single phone call. This is why elite universities are so valuable, not because of what they teach, but because of who your classmates become. This is why country clubs charge $200,000 for membership. This is why Davos exists. You're not paying for knowledge, you're paying for proximity. The practical application is this: stop networking horizontally. Stop collecting business cards from people at your current level. Start spending time, even 1 hour a month, with people one level above you. One conference, one mastermind, one dinner. Over 10 years, that compounds into a network no salary can ever buy. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you rise to the level of your network. If you want part 2, with the final 3 rules, the ones billionaires guard most carefully, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell. The moment part 2 drops, you will be the first to know. This channel is called The Silent Tycoon. Every week we open one more door that most people will never see. Stay silent, build quietly, and I'll see you in part 2.